What's cracking, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, wanted to just tell you about my experience receiving a foreign check. I think this is going to be a pretty quick live stream, but I received a foreign check. Specifically, it was from Canada and the second United States. But a small check, not a big deal. And I totally forgot that I was going to even get it. But let me see if I can even tell you what it was. I thought it was like $57 Canadian or something, which is probably like 35 US. Anyway, so I'm in the United States, got a check from Canada, and thought, okay, well, I'll just deposit it. It is what it is. So my journey on how difficult it is to deposit foreign checks goes like this. So in my banking app, and because ultimately this did not work, I'm not going to tell you which bank it is, but it's a large national bank, US-based bank. And it allows you to take a picture of your check in the app and deposit it. And I did that, and it tried to send it through, and it said, this cannot be accepted via mobile deposit. Please deposit it at your branch. Okay, no big deal. That's also one of the good reasons why you don't tear up those checks. They say after you deposit, hold on to it until you get confirmation. Don't tear it up. So I still had the check, said for deposit only on it. So a couple days later, I ran to my ATM and tried to put it in the ATM. Now, I will also say that the ATM now doesn't require an envelope, and it doesn't even require you to enter how much the check is. It just takes a check and reads it and then confirms with you on the screen. So I put it in. It was chugging on it for a second and then spit it out and said, we cannot accept this check. And it didn't give me any more information than that. I don't remember exactly what the error message said, but it just said, this check can't be deposited or whatever. So took the check out, came home, got on my bank website, emailed them and said, hey, I've got this foreign check. I'm trying to deposit it. Can you please tell me what to do? Now, I would have probably gone into the branch at that point because I was already in an ATM at a branch. The problem was this was Saturday afternoon, and my particular local branch is only open till like noon or 1 o'clock or something on Saturday. So I couldn't do that. Now, I emailed them, and I got an email back maybe a day or two later, a business day or two later, and it said, hey, yeah, we can accept foreign checks, no problem. You have to take them into the branch. But the email continued on saying, hey, it's up to the discretion of the branch whether they want to accept it or not. Now, I get that some branches can't do everything. Like some branches have those coin counters. If you bring in a box of coins or a jar of coins, they'll deposit them. Okay, so I get how that's up to the discretion of the branch, because they might be like, listen, we don't have a coin counter, and I'm not going to sit there counting out coins all day. But I don't understand how it's up to the discretion of the branch to take a check or not, since, I don't know, that doesn't seem to be dependent on any of the skill set or technology in the branch, but I might be wrong about that. Anyway, so I thought, okay, that's probably what I'll have to do. And it didn't really make me happy that, the corporate office was saying that the branches are kind of like, well, it's a scattershot. But I didn't really have much of a choice. And so I was going to plan on doing that. But then I thought, as opposed to doing that and having them say, well, we'll take it, and I don't know what'll happen, blah, 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 blah. And the biggest problem here is that we're so virtual now. It's a pain for me to go to a branch, park, walk in, get in line, fill out the deposit receipt, which I'm not even sure how to fill out for a foreign check, because it asks you how much it is. And so I just don't know, I don't know what the conversion rate is and the fees and all that. So it's just a pain, and it's just time. And for little checks, listen, if I were getting thousands of dollars, let's call it a month, I'd be happy to walk those checks in and stand there, right? But this is not the case. This is like a $57 Canadian check, and I've never received one before, right? In my many years, I've never even received one. So and I don't know when I'll receive one again. Just FYI, this is not a regular thing. So the other thing is, I am sitting at home and I'm thinking, okay, what day can I get out of work early enough? Can I do it on lunch break or whatever it is? And then I think, you know what? I have this credit union account, and the organization is actually called Thrivent Federal Credit Union. They're based out of Minneapolis. And one of the things that happens with them is that they don't have any branches. And so like a lot of credit unions, they have like a physical location. Now, Thrivent does have one, but it's actually maybe not based on Minneapolis. It's based out of Appleton, Wisconsin. And so they do have a branch there that you can go into. But one of the things that was unique about them when they set up, and I don't think this is unique necessarily about credit unions that don't have a large presence, or internet-based banks. I don't know, like Silicon Valley Bank or Bank of the Internet and things like that, which I don't have accounts with. But because they don't have a large physical presence, what they do is they're part of credit union networks where you can use some of the branded ATMs. Like, what's up, Jesse? Welcome, brother. Where they use like, I think it's Novus or something like that, so you can use ATMs there. And then, welcome. I'm glad you joined, my man. I'm glad you joined, or lady, as Jesse doesn't necessarily imply a gender. So welcome. And all right. So they don't have a lot of physical presence. So what they do is they say, hey, use any of the credit union ATMs that are in our network. And if you use an ATM outside of our network, basically they will cover the fee. So that's just kind of how they operate, because instead of having a lot of physical locations, which in the cost of that, they will just cover the $2 or $3 fee, even if I use an ATM outside their network, whether it's for withdrawals primarily, but maybe deposits too. I don't know about that. But like a lot of banks and credit unions, they will allow me to deposit via the app. Now, I didn't want to try depositing via the app on a foreign check because I thought it was going to be the same problem. It was going to bounce back right away. So I emailed them and I said, hey, I've got this foreign check. Can I deposit it? And I got an email back that said, yes, we do accept the foreign checks. You can send it in and you can mail it in. And they gave me a deposit slip, like a PDF deposit slip, which I filled out, which with no information on how much it was, because I didn't know what the conversion was. But then you have to put your account number, and then I mailed it in, right? And so the nice thing is I didn't have to go anywhere. It did cost me a stamp. It cost me a sheet of paper as I printed it, but it was so much more convenient. And a few days later, I kept checking my account online, and a few days later, I saw the deposit, and it was adjusted, for their fee and the exchange rate, which was great, and I didn't have to do anything. So that's kind of ultimately my story here on, getting a foreign was exciting, kind of unnecessary, but it's kind of a pain. I didn't realize how much of a pain it was, but using my credit union, which like I said, kind of skews towards servicing the virtual customer as opposed to the in-person customer, actually worked out really, really well. So if I do get a foreign check again in the future, what I will do is use my credit union, because I can just download the deposit slip, fill it out, mail it in. They'll handle it. Particularly if you're not in a big rush, because it's going to take a couple days to get there, and it probably will take a day or two for it to deposit and clear and whatnot. But it was a really good solution, kind of using snail mail and some low-tech solutions. But again, the convenience factor for me was really, really high in that. Now, if you have solutions on how to accept foreign physical payments that don't want to direct deposit. So that's the issue is, I know that there are some things like Zoom that allow you to accept foreign deposits. You could do it with Bitcoin, those types of things. But, for someone who's going to send a physical check, for the average Joe who's going to send you a payment like that, I don't know that there's a really good, elegant solution yet. And and this is something I've talked with some other guys. A buddy of mine had some friends not friends, but a band from out of the country come in and do a gig, and they were paying him, I don't know, for rent or whatever, hosting, in a check, and it was in Swedish money or something like that. So I know that this happens, not a lot, and this was a pretty good solution for the kind of the occasional kind of uncommon, rare occurrence. But for those of you who have gotten payment from another country, I'd love to hear how you handled it, or what banks or institutions actually worked for you, and if you have any other ideas. Now, I did look online because I was trying to figure out some other versions of what might work, and I saw Payoneer and some other companies. What's up, Yusuf? Hi, buddy. I think this is the second time you've been on a live stream with me, so I'm super stoked that you check it out. If you have a version that works better, let me know. But it's kind of tricky, and it's something I just kind of had to stumble through. Now, the problem with Payoneer and some of these other services is they're more for non-US people receiving money from the US. And so I'm exactly the reverse. I'm in the US trying to receive non-US money. And like I said, if someone outside the country wants to send me a big chunk of cash, I'd love to experiment more with this. Like I said, just a small personal experiment on my part. But that's my experience trying to deposit foreign money, actually successfully doing it eventually, and in a way that wasn't too onerous on me. and a pretty good experience, and really happy with Thrivent Federal Credit Union hooking me up on that. Also, a little disappointed with my big name brand bank that probably would have accommodated me, but certainly was kind of being a little hesitant, sketchy, or hedging their bets when they were kind of telling me what I could do. In fact, if they had said, "Hey, mail it in. Here's a deposit slip. We'll handle it at our home office. You don't have to go to our branch," I would have loved that. But they didn't even offer that to me. They just said, "Go to your branch." So that's my story. Hopefully, all you guys are having a great one. I've been shooting a couple videos today, so we'll be posting those as I kind of get them edited and get them up there. Some really cool stuff coming up, but hopefully they are things that you might be interested in. Check them out. And if you guys have